15 minutes past 8 here on the Radio Whammo Breakfast.
You woman?
It's 8:15 a.m.
It's 18-year-old Scotch. If you want a promotion, you gotta earn it.
Did I tell you that Harkin tricked me into having a drink at 8 o'clock this morning?
I thought he was going to give you a promotion.
Yeah, no, he is.
I have decided who I want to be our new vice president of sales. Me.
What do you say?
Nick, please, we're in the middle of a meeting.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just attribute this to your drinking problem.
Well, it looks like we're on the other side of the International Film Festival, back out on the general releases, and today we're looking at Horrible Bosses with Lena Lamont here, our film reviewer. Good morning, Lena.
Good morning, Whammo.
Horrible Bosses. That's,
Yeah.
I could see old Kevin Spacey there. I'm a big fan. Like the old Spacey.
You know what? I think that the fact that he's in this, I mean, it's not just star power. The fact that we know that Kevin Spacey is an incredible actor and plays menacing like nobody's business really gives this extra kind of oomph, you know?
Yeah.
My God, he's a horrible boss.
He's got his own film production company.
Yeah, well, he's heavily involved in theatre, actually, in the UK as well.
Right.
He basically sort of produces and directs a lot. I think it's the Young Vic. So he's done a lot of, he's got into a lot of contemporary and sort of Shakespeare and all that sort of theatre as well.
Yeah, his company was behind The Social Network, and also and he starred in the one about the MIT students who went to Vegas and were
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was a
counting
good film.
cards. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's behind this one as well, but he's in it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got like executive producer or anything on it. They don't
Right.
really need it because basically the 6 key people in it, you've got 3 guys and they're 3 bosses, and all 6 are major players in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And all 6 are really good, really fun, or really awful. So basically, okay, it's a very simple premise. You've got 3 guys. One of whom absolutely loves his job, but then, unfortunately, the boss dies, and Colin Farrell, a cokehead, kind of sleazy, awful Colin Farrell, brilliantly played,
Yeah.
takes over as his boss. Then you've got the guy in the trailer, Jason Bateman, who is working so hard, getting in at 6 in the morning, struggling to get this promotion, and then Kevin Spacey kind of... I mean, the scenes between him and Kevin Spacey are excruciating because you would want to get, I don't know, like a letter opener and stab Kevin Spacey in the guts as well.
Right.
And then you've got Charlie Day's character. He's a dental technician working for Jennifer Aniston, and Jennifer Aniston sexually harasses him. Do you know what? Actually, I think legally it's probably more than just sexual harassment. It's quite profound.
Okay.
So you've got these 3 guys really unhappy, and they idly sort of decide maybe if we just killed our bosses, life would be a whole lot better. And on it
As you
goes.
do.
Yeah, as you do, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a very straightforward premise, but I found it really fun just watching it all unfold and watching this comedy of errors, this sort of disaster movie, as they go about their ways.
So, essentially, a bunch of guys who would never normally break the law or do anything like that suddenly feel compelled to, and it's the comedy from that. I can imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is all about the characterization. As I say, you've got these 3 dreadful bosses, and Kevin Spacey is just, blood-curdling at the best of times. Jennifer Aniston has said that she thoroughly enjoyed playing this role because it's as close to being a guy and kind of really pushing the boundaries.
And how is she in this? Because normally I would shy away from something that Jennifer Aniston
Would you? How
Yeah.
come? Just generally.
I just get the feeling you see her on the front cover and you go, oh.
You see, the thing is, I think normally the poor woman's been typecast into quite saccharine kind of
Yeah, romantic comedies.
schmaltzy rom-com kind of roles. And I guess this is another reason why she completely loved it. She gets her kid off a lot. And she looks pretty sensational, but I think she just really enjoyed being very, very crude, very, very sort of, I guess, typically kind of masculine, powerful, kind of forthright. And Charlie Day takes the other side of their relationship, if you will, as please leave me alone. I'm trying to get married and be a good guy. You know.
Sounds like you like this one.
I did enjoy it. Typically there are moments when I'm the only person in the cinema doing the big LOL. So obviously I found things in this that others didn't. But that said, I think other people may find it more of a laugh fest. I didn't find it outrageously funny the whole time. Okay. But it was really enjoyable. And you've got cameos from like Jamie Foxx, who plays their murder consultant. Right. And there are funny bits, and it's also completely silly. Okay. But kind of neat.
All right, that is Horrible Bosses. Now to something else.
You don't happen to have like 4 extra pens, do you?
My name's Rachel.
I'll wait for
This is my best friend, Darcy.
Darcy, this is Dex.
I know. You've only been talking about him for 9 months. Ask Rachel out on a date.
Darcy, we're just friends.
Friend that asked me out.
This one is called Something Borrowed. Lena Lamont.
So, yeah, I pride myself on not reading very much chick lit. Don't know about you though, Whammo. Don't want to judge.
Yeah, I've got a habit just before bedtime.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you may be familiar with Something Borrowed, the novel, and
of course, right.
Yeah,
yeah
right.
Yeah,
I have to admit, I was not. This is Something Borrowed, the movie adaptation.
yeah.
Without giving too much away, the very straightforward kind of plot is
Some girl wants to get married.
Well, some girl is getting married.
Oh,
Kate
right, okay.
Hudson,
Yeah.
who is the most self-centered person on the planet. Sorry, I mean her character, Darcy, is the most self-centered person on the planet. And she's marrying this guy called Dex, who is apparently terribly handsome. And I don't know, maybe behind the scenes he's really charismatic in the film. I didn't find him so, but he's meant to be the guy that we all wish we were with. And Darcy is marrying Dex, but Darcy's best friend, Rachel, has been in love with Dex ever since they were in law school, like a decade ago or whatever. And when finally she and Dex get round to having that conversation that they should have had ages ago, it all gets terribly complicated because it turns out he would have liked her then too, and da-da-da-da-da. Now, did you see He's Just Not That Into You?
No.
Did you not?
I didn't.
You should. Now, having said
Okay.
I don't read a lot of chick lit, some rom-coms are really worth seeing. Despite the fact that your friend Jennifer Aniston is in He's Just Not That Into You. That's basically a film with lots and lots of couples in various states of relationship, and they're all the interweaving stories and stuff. And the linchpin of that film is this actress, Jennifer Goodwin. Now, Jennifer Goodwin, who plays Rachel in Something Borrowed, she's kind of playing herself again. She was fantastic the first time, but in this, she's this character who you just want to shake her and say, well, maybe you should have told him before now, because your best friend's actually marrying this guy. It's not really appropriate for you to be mucking about with him. Do you know what I mean?
You're taking this quite seriously.
Well,
though.
it's just like, get a bit of backbone, or I don't know, because the film is just a whole
You felt
lot
like
of...
counselling her.
Well, if only. Leap through the screen and tell her where she went wrong. I don't know. You know, I'm not the only person who felt this. I mean, the people that I'd seen the film with sort of came out going, don't really feel a lot of sympathy for any of the characters involved. And I do think that that's sometimes a real flaw in movies.
Okay.
Because if you've got characters who aren't likeable...
So she could have been hit by a bus, and you were like, who cares?
Well, I'm not quite that
Whatever.
horrible, but
Sometimes I feel that way. I was like, oh, get off the screen.
it's a tricky one, right? Remember when we talked about Taxi Driver the other week?
Yeah.
That's not an inherently lovable character, but there is something about him that is engaging and that you kind of care what happens to him.
You can't compare Taxi Driver.
No, you can't. And I
Something Borrowed,
apologise
though,
to
yeah.
Martin Scorsese. But what I'm saying is, if you've got characters who
Yeah.
kind of aren't that nice,
Yeah, I understand.
you've
yeah.
got to care on some level.
Yeah, you do.
And in the way, you just kind of get to the end of it and go, well,
Yeah.
basically, I don't have much sympathy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Something Borrowed. Kate Hudson as a brunette.
Yeah, and I think if people have read the book, then yeah, they're going to want to see this film. And I'm guessing that at least half our audience hasn't read the book and could probably do without it.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. The reviews you can also find in the Sunday Star Times and also over at lenalamont.wordpress.com. We'll see you next week.
Sure.
Wow.
Let's do a secret for every point.
Love that.
Rach, why don't you do this one?
Stop.
If she's not going to tell you, I will. Oh. You broke my nose!